One late October day, a couple years back. I'm 22 now. I was either 16 or 17 at the time. A couple of friends and I decided to get into the Halloween spirit. We would walk down to a cemetery that was a little over 2 miles from our subdivision. It was across the street as well, which meant that there was the minor obstacle of a small drainage ditch between each side of the street and both sides to overcome. The weather was very mild for being so late in October, so we grabbed our hoodies and bottles of water and headed out. There was an occasional street light above the assorted subdivision's entrance, but other than that, it was a dark, gloomy walk. We were all joking along the way there to pass the time. Oh, watch zombies come from nowhere! I'd crap my pants if I saw a ghost or something. Before our eyes were fully adjusted to the near pitch-black air, we had leapt and yelled at any rustling that we heard in the distance to help elevate the mood, so we were fully spooked upon arrival. Our jeers and chuckles kept us wholehearted and kept us going through the long walks, as we get just within distance of seeing the entrance to the cemetery. Out of nowhere, I get the biggest chills of my life. The piercing cold from nowhere was so intense I dropped my water bottle and just clutched my body, shivering. My friends gave me a slightly panicked look. Then we all just laughed. "Oh, you're not chickening out already, are you?" they joked. "No, I'm good." "I'm not sure what that was," I retorted. "Let's keep going." The closer we got to the cemetery, it felt like my body was getting heavier and heavier. It got to a point where I could barely move forward. Worrying something was physically wrong, I pleaded with my friends, "Maybe we should head back. I think I need to eat something or lay down." "Quit being a puss, you're fine. You made it all the way here, didn't you? Plus, we ate before we left," my one buddy replied. I had been so caught up in my sudden change of feeling that I had completely forgotten that I had eaten previously that night. Regardless, I still think I'm going to head back. Sorry to chicken out on you guys. I let out a disappointed grumble. "It's okay, man. We understand," he replied. They made sure I got across both ditches and the street in one piece before finishing the venture into the graveyard, and I started my trek back. Feeling really jittery and jumpy walking back in the dead silence, I dug through my pockets hoping to find something comforting. Front pockets, nothing. Hoodie pockets, an empty water bottle, and a gum wrapper. Front pocket? Success. My phone. Thank God. I chuckled to myself in a sigh of relief. At that moment, I had remembered that I had been charging it all night while sitting around and hanging out with my friends. Music will help make this go by way faster. Untangling the plethora of headphone wires as I walked down the sidewalk, I couldn't help to hear what I thought were footsteps behind me. I slowed to a leisurely stroll and slowly glanced over my shoulder to see nothing. I'm just being paranoid, I think aloud. Realizing I was nowhere near home, I needed to cover some serious ground. Turning my slow strut into a decently paced walk, I pushed forward. Step, step, step. Instantly stopping, I turn around in a flash. Nothing. Being aware of my heightened sense of alert, I decide I'm just slightly spooked. Seeing as that's what setting out for the night was intended to achieve, I didn't feel as much of a fool. I push on. My walk turns into a slow jog in attempts to cover more ground. My phone rings. Fumbling to find it in time while hearing that deafening wail of a ring, I stop for a moment, glance at the caller ID and see it's my friend's. "Hello," I answer. "Hey, it's super boring over here. We're gonna hang out here for a little longer, then we're gonna head back. Want us to meet you at your place when we're done?" "Sure," I reply. "Okay, see ya." I hang up. I think to myself, wow, that was fast. I start my journey back up towards my house, scoping out landmarkers to try and figure out how far I have to go. I realize I'm almost halfway home. I also realize that it's a long way still, and there's no lights for a while. Just myself, the sidewalk, and my surroundings. After taking a deep breath, I push forward, thinking about whatever I can to take my mind off of my constantly climbing fear. I keep myself distracted while walking, sports, television, music, and anything else to keep myself deep in thought. Step, step, step. Checking behind me twice previously, I convinced myself audibly. It's nothing. Step, 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 step. The steps are heard again, but louder and in a faster manner. At this point, I start to worry. My brain is fighting with my body at this point, and I end up turning around to confront whatever it is behind me. Nothing. I need to get home. I need sleep. I let out with a joking manner, trying to comfort myself. After a long, quiet walk, I make another quarter mile or so of progress. No noise. No footsteps. Nothing. I sigh in comfort. As I continue walking, I have the sudden urge to turn around. Not because I heard something, but my body just instinctively wanted to turn around. Not being one to not trust instinct, I turn around. I could not believe what was there. I was shocked. My body locked up as my brain went into overdrive, trying to comprehend what my eyes were seeing. My doppelganger. A clone, a duplicate of myself. Same clothes, same facial features, everything just physically darker, as if it were surrounded by shadows that consumed what little light there was. In a panic, I turned to run. The half of a second it took to turn felt like an eternity, locking my eyes with what I can only describe as myself as I turned to run. What was there in front of me topped what I had seen 2 seconds prior. A dark, robed figure, much taller than myself, just standing, peering. What I wouldn't give at that exact moment just to be feeling that exact chill from earlier. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. I just saw the enigmatic figure come closer than it already was. The only bodily function that I could make work was just to crumble down to my knees and just cover my head with my arms, shaking violently, almost in the fetal position. I tried to drown out everything. What I had just seen, along with the raspy groans from all around me, feeling insanity practically setting in, I had officially snapped. I lost all control over my body. Feelings of a sharp stabbing pain appeared all throughout my body. Instantaneously, there was the worst pounding feeling imaginable in my brain, not being able to move. I feared the worst, not knowing how long I was collapsed. I felt my legs start to extend. Was I standing? I didn't question what was happening as long as it got me away from that state of hell that I was experiencing. Staggering left and right with my legs only half extended, I felt a great push of force from in front of me. I stumbled back faster than I could comprehend and landed in the drainage ditch, heaving, heavily breathing, and sweating profusely. I felt my body shutting down. The last thing I could see before my eyes closed was the shadowy haze subside and the shine of the moon behind me light up the night's starless sky. I was found by my friends on their walk back. I'm not sure how long I was unconscious. Walking back to my house, I told them about my story, and they just laughed with a tone of heavy doubt. Walking into my house, I feel a great amount of pain in my chest, not the same agonizing stabbing pain, but a terrible crushing pain. I take off my muddy hoodie and my shirt as I walk to my home to reveal a large bruise taking up the greater part of my chest. I didn't have that bruise when we had all left the house earlier that night. It healed regularly, and there was no damage other than the strained breathing upon walking in the house. Since that night, I don't do cemeteries. I leave them to those who perish, and those who tend them.